One of the required sections of your resume are the references. They must have, or you must have, 3 references listed, and they cannot be friends and family. The only exception to that rule is if a family member owns a business that you have worked for or that you currently work for. For example, let's say your dad owns a contracting company and you work for him on the weekends or in the summers. You can list him. For your references, every single reference has to have their first and last name, their job title, where they work, so the company name, and a phone number. If you also have an optional email, like if they give you an email, let's list that, but that is optional. If it is a teacher, like let's say you're going to list me, Miss Arnold, for your resume, or you're going to list your lab instructor, which I highly recommend that you do, it's going to have all this information that I have listed here. Please make sure too that you always ask before you list. So before we turn in our final draft, before you start using this resume to apply to jobs, make sure you shoot them a text, an email, or ask them in person if they are willing to serve as your reference. On your templates, you are going to notice that there are 2 places for you to list your references, and I'll show that on my screen up here. So right here at the very bottom, there's the 3, and then there's an entirely separate second page. Because we don't know how much space our resume is going to take up, we're actually going to type in this information in both locations, and then at the very end we'll decide, can I have them all here because it fits on one, or do I have to use a separate reference page? So we're just going to start typing. So I'm going to put me. I noticed that it got rid of the bold, so real quick I'm going to highlight that with my mouse, Control B. Ms. Arnold's job title is an English teacher. Look, and it already changed italics. I'm going to Control I. Company name, I work at Southern Hills Career Technical Center. I'm going to abbreviate it just for space purposes. Phone number, school phone, 378-6131. My extension is 351. Every teacher has an extension. And then the email. First.last at Southern Hills. So you're going to continue on. For this second reference page, it's the same thing, it just looks different. So you're just going to start filling in this info, just like you did earlier. I'm not going to fill it out because you know how it goes. I will say too, when you get to the second page, you're going to have to retype in your personal contact information. It's the same exact thing as the top of your reference.